That's Chef Soul on the beat cooking up that heat.
Hold on, we can get that call in. All right, Keep Elevated, episode 6. You got high.
I got
All right, let's start from the beginning because I don't want to miss this. I don't want to. I hope I don't sound like ass. I'm on your mic. This is.
God.
Hold on. All right, so
Just gotta yell into it.
let's run. just scream through. I want to make sure you. All right, so starting out. This was what day?
Sunday, right?
Sunday.
This is all hypothetical FBI. All right.
Right. This is all for promotional use only.
Yeah.
This is a audio play in 3 acts. Act 1, Matt got high.
Goddamn.
We allegedly, well, not me. He allegedly was in, came across some what we call it, candies, and
It's that fucking nerd rope, man.
yeah, man. So let's talk about your experience. Have you done them before?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay.
So apparently, this bag was what 500 milligrams a piece.
5
And I got warned multiple times. Just take a piece. Don't eat the whole shit.
Don't.
I thought that I thought my tolerance was up. I thought I was good. I'm like, I do this. You know what I mean? And it took like 3 hours. We go and we do our fantasy draft, man. I'm chilling there, minding my business, drinking my beer.
So when did you actually take it?
I took it probably 5 minutes before I left the house. 5 minutes before we left the house. Got there, took back probably 2 or 3 beers. Mm-hmm. Felt some type of buzz, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, the beers are kicking in because usually my highs feel different than my drunks or my buzzes. But that shit got heavy. Shit got real funny, like the names of the football players, man. The colors on the damn app. Shit. And I'm sitting there trying to keep a straight face because my man already done asked me, yo, you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm straight. You know what I mean? I was not straight.
I was not straight.
Shit was real funny. I felt like I melted into the chair.
Oh,
I could feel
man.
my brain pulsating. Like it had a beat, like a heartbeat in my brain. 500 milligrams ain't no joke, man.
And you did a half.
I did a half. I bit it. I tried to take your advice. I took half. And I had to come home to my wife and kids. My eyes were bloodshot.
Oh, no.
I could not fake it. I was like, look, babe.
Listen,
Listen,
man. That's why. I actually followed behind you.
Really?
I didn't leave before you. I was like, let me just drive behind them
Oh, okay.
and make sure my man is straight. Cause
Bro, if I could have messed up that drive 30 inches up the street. That was bad, though. Like, I swear to God, I felt it the next morning. It was that bad.
oof.
So that bag is going to take a while. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, man. I've only again allegedly had quarter pieces because I saw what Brandon went through,
I thought
and that was a half, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Bags?
Yeah.
Same bags?
Yeah.
allegedly a half. So I well, my character chopped up in 4s.
Yeah.
That way, when he goes to sleep, he can rest.
Yeah, that's
and,
what I meant this whole time. My character.
Yeah, of course, most definitely. But yeah, because in the beginning, I was like, all right, everybody's chilling. Everybody's probably had at least a beer or 2 at this point by the time I pulled up, and then it was just like, man, I'm feeling it, dog.
It got real quiet. Head was low.
Bro, what?
I was like, all
I
right.
swear to God, shit got so funny for no reason. Like, I'm looking at the app.
This nigga's name is Juju. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Hey, that reminds me. Just a quick sidebar. One time I was in the dentist, and so they gave me the shot because they were pulling my wisdom teeth.
Uh-huh.
So they gave me the shot. They go to get the first one. I'm like, I feel it. It was like, all right, let me give you a second dose. They go. It's like, I feel it. So they gave me the gas. And so I'm like, nah, I don't feel it. I just feel like the pressure of them working, but I don't feel any pain. So I'm like, cool, straight. So I'm laying there, and they're doing their job, and I just start thinking, and I'm looking, I'm like, all right, he's the dentist. I know why he's here. She's helping right now. I know why she's here. And I looked at that second assistant. It's like, the fuck are you here for? And I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. It was too funny. Everything becomes funny at that point.
Hey, who picked you up from that appointment?
My mom's. That was young. I was young as hell when this happened.
Because I hear that's some truth serum type stuff. Right?
Oh yeah. That's what I hear. Don't ask me nothing if I'm on the gas. Everything. If I'm on the gas, then everything is for entertainment purposes only.
Man,
don't ask me nothing. Do not. Oh man. So yeah. Whatever you got. Well, whatever your character has left, chop them up.
Oh my god.
Don't.
I can't tell if I loved it or hated it. I don't know if I want to go through that no more. It's the trying to be an adult part. Like we were in a serious setting trying to pick people. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? These fucking ribs.
Yeah, man. But overall, they work.
Yeah,
they work. They're good.
Yes,
they're
sir.
good.
Yeah, that 500 milligrams on the package is not accurate whatsoever.
Don't do that.
I don't know what they did during processing, but
they probably meant like 500 per serving, but a whole serving is a half. You only get 4 pieces. It's supposed to last you.
It's outrageous. Man.
Nah,
I didn't know they could make it that potent.
Dog,
that shit.
So from what I hear, most times they're like 100 milligrams. 5.
Yeah, if that.
That's crazy. But yeah, they're gonna last for a while. Before we move on, I want to give a quick shout out. Being from New Orleans, I want to give a quick shout out to all my folks surviving, dealing with the madness down there from Hurricane Ida. Mm-hmm. So shout out to y'all. I know it's trash out there right now. I saw a report yesterday that there's a bridge, there's a street, it's called Claiborne. Mm-hmm. Separates the upper Ninth Ward from the lower Ninth Ward. And there's a bridge that raises for boats that's going up and down the canal. So lights were out, but the bridge went up. And there were some people that drove and went into the canal.
Oh,
damn.
I think they survived.
Damn.
But I was like, damn, son.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah, man. And look, I mean, obviously I don't live there anymore, but Entergy Energy Company, whatever you are, Cox Cable, fuck y'all. They are trash. They are super trash. You gotta flame them up. They are trash. Super trash. They giving power, taking power, billing people all crazy. For all my folks down there, Entergy, Cox Cable, all the people that's out there that's trying to exploit, and you assholes who's breaking in people's houses. Damn. Fuck y'all. Y'all some whole hoes out here.
Tell them.
Bum ass, hoe ass niggas. Straight like that. Okay. Well,
respect.
Thankfully, this is an all audio experience, so no worries.
Thank you, Jesus.
No worries, no judgments. Thankful to the Most High.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear her well?
Yeah.
Yes, man.
Can you hear us over here?
I can hear you guys really well. Can you hear me? I don't have a podcast mic with me right now. I'm just using my computer audio.
Yeah, you're. I think you're on my computer audio.
Okay, perfect.
Right now. So, what I'm doing, I'm going to use the audio from your side on the Zoom, and I'll just overlay it on what we're recording through our main recording program, so it'll sound good.
Awesome. Wow, Josiah's like actually professional and stuff. He has a compressor. He's
that's
got like
our
a
EP
whole
right there.
Actual podcasting mic.
Yeah.
Come on, professional.
Hey man, you know, I'm trying to do a little something. Trying to serve.
Also, hi. I know BJ's here. Is your other host here as well?
Hey, girl. What's up, girl? My name Matt. What's your name?
I'm good. Hi, Matt. I'm Adia. It's nice to virtually meet.
Yeah, I heard you from Atlanta.
I am from. Well, I'm from Texas originally, but I've lived in Atlanta for like the past 8-9 years.
She's my dad's former
Let me
student.
turn off this.
Okay.
You know I get my peaches out in Georgia, right?
Oh,
Do you?
Ooh,
Well,
hey, now. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
you know, the banter, keep it going.
That's
What's
plenty.
good? What's cool? I love it. I love that for us. This is going to be a great conversation. I can already tell.
So, now, remind me, do you have your own podcast?
A funny story. Currently we do. We just posted our penultimate episode. We're probably going to take a hiatus for a while, but long story short, yes, it is called Untitled Unpopular, or Unpopular Untitled. Wow, maybe I should know my own podcast name. But Unpopular Untitled. If you all see me on Instagram, it's in my bio.
Okay.
On my profile.
Well, we'll make sure to tag that, plug that, all that on here.
Of course, I will do the same for y'all. So
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and let's get into the crux of this.
dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Oh shit.
I'll let you take the floor and speak your part so that
Let
we
me
can.
let me get a quick intro. Real
Okay.
quick. Let me
Okay.
get a quick
Yeah.
intro.
Do your thing.
All right, so for our listeners at home, if you recall last week, we had some discussions about Amber Rose and the dealings of her man's side pieces, plural, times 12, 12 minimum, and some of the views associated with that. Adia listened, heard that those discussions, and has some thoughts that she'd like to share. So here we are, Keep Elevated, having our first audience participation live. So here we go.
Shit, I'm the first whistle. But hi, thank you so much for letting this opinionated person come on your podcast.
Welcome.
No,
Really
we appreciate you joining.
First of all, I love the podcast. I really do. I love hearing from Black men, mostly, especially ones that I happen to know. And by know, I mean BJ. BJ's dad was my math teacher when I was in middle school, actually. So we got to see each other, and we've been following each other, I think, probably since we were in high school. And it's really cool to see him go on to. Is this your second or third podcast?
This is number 2.
Number 2. Okay, his second podcast. And so just was listening to that latest episode. And so for me, I'll go ahead and say it because, you know, everybody loves it. I do call myself a feminist. And for me, what feminism is not hating men. It is generally just that we be treated equal and like have the same expectations. So that means that like, if I'm in a relationship with a man, I'm not expecting him to pay for everything. I'm not expecting him to acquiesce to certain things just because I'm a woman. It means that like I want a partner. I don't necessarily need like a husband or a boyfriend because I feel like those terms carry specific words.
Okay.
As a Black female, I do feel like there is a lot of talk about women being submissive to their partners, and that is not something that I necessarily ascribe to. Not a submissive person in my general nature, and I definitely don't think that I'm a submissive person in my partnerships. So when I heard this conversation about Amber Rose, I think my very polite comment about not that y'all are wrong about the slut walk and how it started was mostly said in jest, but also I can't remember. I should have taken notes, but I feel like one of the hosts, I can't remember if it was Josiah or Matt, said that it was made for women to like dress however they want, like and not feel like any responsibility for the repercussions. Can y'all clarify that for me? I don't want to miss you.
Yeah, so what I was saying was, for anybody who hasn't heard, the backstory on that was it was like a police chief in Toronto who essentially blamed women for being raped, saying that the way that
you wouldn't get raped if you weren't dressed like sluts.
Right. And so they were saying hey, we're gonna do this and show that yes, we can dress how we want. It's not how we dress that brings on these actions. How we dress doesn't make you a rapist. Being a rapist makes you a rapist. And so it was to say, yes, we can dress how we want. We can show our bodies, not like being vulgar, but I can wear a fitted dress, I can wear a short skirt, I can do as I feel with my body because it's my body. You don't have any kind of control over my body just because you like the way it looks. And I 1000% support that.
For sure. And also a lot of women that get raped are raped wearing like regular clothes. Like they don't even look cute. Like they actually are just in a situation where a person wants to take advantage of them, and they do. Exactly. And I think that that's more what the conversation is about, is that like a person cannot be raped unless a person is intending to rape them. And I think that's really, I think more people would align with that as opposed to be like, you can't just dress all sexy and not expect someone to give you attention and then get mad if they decide that like they see you in a sexual way, which I do have an issue with. I mean, so I consider myself a bisexual woman. And not bisexual, pansexual, but we ain't got to get into all of that. And there are many times that I've seen a fine ass woman walking by, and you know what my first thought is never, I'm gonna smash that no matter what. Like, oh, I'm gonna give her a couple of drinks and see what's good. Like, like there's just not an innate understanding for me that I need to get somebody to a point where their senses are kind of dulled in order to do something or get some kind of sexual activity out of them. And also, I think that like the other thing that I took a big issue with was y'all being like, but Amber Rose was a hoe. Like, like she lived the whole life, you know, like hashtag hoe is life, do what you do. Like, yes, ma'am, you say you're not a whore, but you're wearing the uniform, you know, to quote the great Dave Chappelle. And I wonder why that is a justification. And maybe it's me interpreting that as a justification for Amber Rose having to deal with adultery. Like, even if you are a whore, even if you are a hoe, you're still a person, right? Like, you were still raised to respect people, hopefully. And just because the way that a person moves sexually or, you know, conducts their life doesn't mean that they don't deserve respect, or that they should not expect that a person with whom they're engaged in a monogamous relationship would continue to be monogamous. And so my question, and I think BJ said something, can I call you BJ? Should I just start calling you Brandon? I'm calling you like you're.
She done open that door.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I haven't gone by BJ in like
I saved this my phone and everything.
Like 12 years. You know.
Stop!
You know,
oh my god.
I've been Brandon for a minute now.
Wow,
but,
I totally forgot that. I was like, wow,
cool.
I think people call him Brandon now. That
because I'm an adult, you know.
New nickname alert.
Late now.
Right. Brandon, you know, like charge it to my head, not my heart. Wasn't trying to do you any wrong, bro.
You good.
But like I agreed with him when I was just like, yo, if you're in a monogamous relationship with somebody, just because I was hoeing before doesn't mean that you should expect that I'm gonna be chill, or that I should expect for you to have side pieces. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. The contract that we have in a relationship does not need to consider what else was happening in my other relationship. And so I just kind of wanted to hear y'all's opinion on that.
Got you. So I'll say this. A lot of, because this all started from commentary on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Now, I am of the...
You're a horse.
Yeah. I am of the, what I would call OG Twitter 2009, came in Wild Wild West Twitter world. And what comes with that is I don't take Twitter as like real life. So
right.
I preface with that because I don't, well, I'll get on Twitter and I'll say something where, yeah, I may have a point that I'm making, but I make jokes on Twitter. So my initial comment was, Amber Rose loves the hoe life, but now she's mad at the hoes for being hoes. Now, that was meant initially really just joking around. I don't think anybody deserves to be lied to. Yeah, I don't think anybody deserves to be lied to, cheated on, because the one thing that becomes a risk when it comes to her husband or boyfriend, whoever he is, stepping out. Granted, yeah, he can get somebody pregnant. It's horrible, but you can deal with that. There's options there, to put it in one way. But it becomes another thing if he brings disease home, right?
Sure.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. So yeah, nobody should be put at risk in that way by somebody else lying to them and cheating and stepping out with God knows who is out there in the world.
Sure. Yeah.
My thing that I was saying is her main focus should be on him because he's the one who owes her anything as far as that relationship goes. Granted, yes, she can be mad at the people that knew that he was in a relationship and still decided to participate. She full well can. But my initial comment was to just say, what that goes into is you have people that will put forth a image, but they're not ready for the consequences that can come with that. And the consequence here is not so much being cheated on, it's a lack of empathy that will come with that. I feel like a woman should be free to be with whoever she wants. I feel like anybody should be free to be able to be with whoever they want, how they want to, safely, but it's their right, it's their freedoms. Society has not quite caught up with that. And so with that, it's like a delicate balance. It's like a dance that you have to kind of deal with when dealing with life and society and everything that comes with that. The image you put forth, a lot of times it's going to stick with you. Unfortunately, and at times it's going to stick with you. So with my comment, I'm saying you put out this image of being hoe is life, be with however many you want to, be as free as you want to, which is cool. But when that comes to your doorstep where other people are engaging in that, that can affect your life. And now you kind of may want to question, how do you want to put that out there? Maybe there's another way to go about that. And being also a celebrity of sorts, there's a even less level of empathy that's going to come her way, which again is not something that she's deserving of, but that's the cold hard facts of the world that we're in until the world that we're in changes.
Got you. I was gonna say, because I know I'm a podcaster. Do Matt or like Brandon have anything else to say to that, like in response to what I had to say?
I mean, I don't think, and this is Matt, I don't think it's an issue of she deserved to be cheated on or anything like that. It's more so the expectation. Like, you celebrated the whole life for so long, you can't be mad if no one feels bad for you because you got cheated on. I mean, yes, you don't deserve it, but this is a lifestyle that you celebrate. I mean, you have a slut walk. There's going to be sluts out there. You promoted slutness. So, I mean, if your man got sluts, that happened. I mean, that happened to you and it's bad, and I know you feel bad, but society, like he said, you're a celebrity. We're not going to take empathy on that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that happened to you, but I mean, in my opinion, this is the lifestyle that you've been trying to promote your whole career. You know what I mean? So no, she doesn't deserve to be cheated on at all. And
can I give an example of another way that can show?
Yes, but I also want you to consider this before you say it, though. Just if you will.
Yeah.
I think I have a problem with the fact that it seems that cheating, or people that engage in cheating with people, or like who participate in relationships with people who they know to be attached, is being equated to being sexually liberated. Because so hoe is life is women taking back the notion that because I choose to be unattached and have sex with whomever I want means that I'm a whore, as opposed to a man doing that. Like, if a man, I believe that men are hoes too. So
of course, 100%.
So,
the biggest hoes.
For me, a hoe is just somebody that's just like, yo, I don't really deal with conventional relationship stuff. Like, if I want to have sex with like 3 different dudes over the course of one night or over the course of a week, that makes me a person that enjoys sex, not a hoe. When we're talking about what's happening with Amber Rose, we're saying that the woman who chose to have sex with a man, which is one thing, also chose to have sex with a man who they knew to be to be in a relationship with somebody else. And I don't think that that's hoeing. I think that that's like adultery. That's the breach of a contract. And yes, the man had the responsibility to stay faithful to Amber. I will absolutely concede to that. Like, the person she should have an issue with is him. But like, I don't necessarily want those women to be known as hoes because they did that. Like, if I want to be a hoe, that means I just want to have sex with different people. Not that I want to go and break up people's marriages and homes. Like, that's different for me. So that's all I wanted to say there. But continue, asking or give your example.
Yeah. And what I was gonna say, just like an example of where the image you put forward is gonna reduce the empathy that you get when what you've put forward kind of comes back to you. Mm-hmm. So everybody's aware of who Nipsey Hussle is, right?
Yes.
Everybody knows that Nipsey Hussle, through his adult life, from late young childhood, teenage life, to the day that he passed away, he banged Rollin' 60 Crip.
Right.
Now, those of us who are not in that, we see Nipsey as a celebrity, a rapper, philanthropist, business owner, an inspiration of sorts. Mm-hmm. But he died in gangbanging. And there are people who would look at that and they're going to say, hey, yeah, he may have done all this other stuff outside of that, but gangbanging came back to him, and I can't have empathy for that. I don't agree with that, but I'm just saying that there are people who are going to hold you to who it is that they know you as. And that's kind of where we kind of have to make a turn as a society. Again, my commentary was, yeah, in jest, but you got to find a way to navigate life. You do. Right. And is there another way for her to have put forward the idea of sexual freedom, especially as a woman, that wouldn't have been this supposed take back the words of slut and hoe and all that? It's kind of like with our folks and taking back nigga as a way.
Yeah.
I don't think that argument really holds up. So that's kind of where the I guess the difference in approach would be for her is like, hey, was there another way? Because it's not so much that she was wrong in what she believed in. Mm-hmm. It's, was there a better way to go about it? Because when you end up in a situation like this, there's going to be a lot of, see, you was talking about being hoes. The hoes came to roost. And now you dealing with hoes in your household. And is that fair? No. But
I don't feel like there is like a way for her to like take a more moderate approach, though, because
right,
the way that our society is set up, like any woman that talks about sex in an open and free manner, no matter how many partners it's with, they're automatically labeled as someone who's loose or a hoe. So even if she said, hey, don't go out and have sex with 10 people in a week, but, you know, you can have sex with one guy every 2 months or whatever. Like, you know, that's low numbers for a dude or statistically or whatever. But for a woman, like, people are going to see that and say, oh, you're fucking 6 dudes a year? Oh, my God. Like, you're a hoe. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there was no way that she could say, like, hey, be sexually free without someone coming back to her and saying that's hoe talk. No matter how moderate or extreme she was, like, it was going to be met with the same kind of reaction.
Right. I don't feel like what she was supporting is what she was upset about necessarily. And I think that, like, that might just be me, you know, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Splitting hairs. That might be me splitting hairs. That might be me being like, okay, well, there's a fine line. And I'm also fine with that. I do think that, like, for me, the biggest thing is lack of empathy, not necessarily from you, because like I said, I thought your tweet was funny. I laughed. I got a good chuckle. I thought it was hysterical. But I also know that people, that you can hold two ideas at the same time, like kind of with what you were saying about Nipsey. Like, yes, Nipsey was a philanthropist. Yes, Nipsey did all of this great stuff, but like also he was a gangbanger and like that life caught up to him. I don't necessarily feel like that negates the good stuff that he did, right? Like that doesn't negate that. In the same way that like her being upset with these women who chose to mess with a married man does not negate the fact that like she can still support women being sexually liberated. And I think that that also goes to the whole thing where like we're trying to sanitize the way that people are able to support things. It's like, yes, 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 girl, you can support the hoes, but like not the way that you were, not the way that you were supporting it. And it's just like, okay, so how, what does she need to do? Does she need to like be like, guys, I want to have a sexual liberation walk where we just really talk about how women should not be, you know, assaulted because of the clothing that she wears. And if she was wearing like, you know, a Chanel quilted suit and had on some heels and had on her court wig, like would that be more palatable? Like would that make people more empathetic toward her? Is kind of what I'm trying to get at.
Right. And you know what? I think it would have. But so I'm all about self-checking. I'm not delirious about like if I'm wrong or if there's something that can be approached better. So in hearing what you're saying, what it reminded me of is something that I despise, which is respectability politics.
Right.
Yeah, she can call it a slut walk all she wants, and they're free to do that. And honestly, when you call it that, yes, there's going to be people that is going to be immediately turned off by it. And no matter what, they're not going to hear what you're actually trying to say.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Part of me says, yes, there's probably another way to have gone about it without using those words because they're kind of like trigger words. Mm-hmm. But I also hate respectability politics, and I don't support also taming yourself down just to make it more palatable to other people. So, yeah.
And that's the thing that we have to deal with as Black people, right?
Oh, like, hell yeah.
I was just about to say.
The fact. So I did my podcast with my friend Jaleesa specifically because of the differences in our personality. Jaleesa says that she is a country hood rat type whatever person, and she's just like, and you were like, you grew up whitewashed, you over here, you know, using all your big words and shit, and I'm just like, yes. And I'm just like, and you also are a multi-advanced degree person who honestly should command a lot more salary wise than I do. But because of the way that you present yourself, like she likes to go out with her thighs out and she likes to have on her sneaks and she likes to do whatever, big hoop earrings. And I like to go out dressed up in blazers and dresses and heels and stuff, right? So when people look at us, they've already decided, like, quote unquote, which one of us is more respectable, not knowing what her background is. And that's what I love about our show. I'm just like, y'all are over here, you know, assessing the way that I dress, not knowing that this woman could like read you, run you, charge you up and down by your life if she really wanted to. And I'm sitting here just being like, I'm just talking with my friend, really, like, like, you know. And I'm also thinking about, this is not analogous. I want to make sure that people know that this is not analogous, but the Colin Kaepernick thing very much stands up with me because it doesn't matter how Colin Kaepernick was going to protest police brutality, because of the fact that he is a Black man and he was doing anything that seemed to step on police and or America as a whole, he was never going to have a way to protest that people were going to be okay with.
That's a fact.
Ever. And so when you choose to, you know, take on controversial or provocative topics, it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. And I do believe that if you are going to do that, you need to be prepared for the ramifications, negative or positive. So like in one hand, what you're saying about Amber Rose kind of being like, well, you did support this thing. So like, you know, sis, maybe you need to like think about what you were putting out is true. But at the same time, like, when are we going to stop drawing lines between what makes a person worthy of empathy and like, I don't know, like respectable in a way? Because I mean, we've been fighting I thought all my life just to be heard for shit. And Amber was trying to do something I think that she saw as noble. And then it's getting thrown back at her like, sorry, me supporting women who don't, live their lives the same way has made you think that I don't deserve empathy and or sympathy in this really hard time for me. And that's also something that happens with celebrities a lot.
Of course. Well said. I don't know if you can hear the applause, but we got some applause going for you right now.
The silent applause. I don't know if you played a track, but that's hysterical to me.
Yeah, it'll play super clear when you hear it back. Drop a DJ horn in there for you too.
Yes. But like it's also really nice to hear, I think, Black men just talking about this in general, because I think perhaps for y'all's friend group that these are conversations that y'all have, but we just had an episode about Black women and men supporting one another and like what we owe to one another. And I think that these conversations are necessary, especially when you can have them in a level way where you can have opposing opinions on things and kind of like question each other without it getting heated. And I don't feel like a lot of people can do that. And I think that that's unfortunate because the exchange of ideas that need to be exchanged can't happen when people are so invested in being emotional about what is being talked about. And I think that that's true from both sides. Like, I know my women's get a really bad rap for being overly emotional, but like, y'all men sometimes out here really be in your feelings about stuff. Just really be in your feelings about stuff. And I'm like, baby, are you okay? Like, we just talking. Why are you so mad right now? And that doesn't usually help. But I want more people to talk about this, especially about respectability politics, because that's not going to save Black people's lives, period.
At all.
And we gotta be more on the nose about that. I'm just rambling now. Please take control.
No, we appreciate it. Yeah. We appreciate it. That's all facts, 100%. So, man, that was good. Obviously, we try to keep this within a certain time frame, but we definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely, please.
To plug again, so we have Adia on the line from the unpopular Untitled podcast. Make sure anybody listening here checks that out. Big shout outs, big applause, flex bombs, all the drops,
dance hall horns,
all that.
Yes.
All that.
All right, and shout out to my dude BJ.
BJ,
I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
He
probably he was like, "Wow, I really left that shit in the past. Like, don't nobody notice." And I just came up in here and blew everything up.
Your past will always catch up with you.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yes. But honestly, we'd love to have you guys on if we decide to pick back up the show.
Do that.
And it would just be great to hear from some other really talented and really intelligent, Black people, especially from the male perspective. So thank y'all for having me.
Of course.
So thanks for coming through. We appreciate it.
Jaleesa, we said what's up.
I will let her know. She might be like, "Hey, are they cute? What they numbers are?" like what's happening?
With our 3 wives and 7 children.
I don't know if y'all are still recording right now, but y'all can always edit it. But when do your episodes drop? And is there like a specific way? Like, do you want me to promote the teaser that y'all put up and also the episode drop? Like, what would you like me to do for Pub?
Wednesdays, 7 a.m. is the drops.
Okay.
And we post to IG primarily with all the clips. So anything that goes there, you can share it and spread the word.
Okay, want to support y'all any way that I can.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. Y'all have a good one. Thank you so much for having me on, and y'all keep doing what y'all are doing. I really, really love the show.
For sure. Thank you.
All right, bye, y'all.
DJ, huh?
Yeah, that was
constructive.
Yeah, so my middle name is James. Okay, so my parents named me after my mom's grandma, or my mom's mom, my maternal grandma. So her name was Barbara Joyce. So like, oh, let's give them the same initials. So
Brandon James, that's $1 million name right there.
you know, I'm not mad about it. So when I came out the womb, though, like my parents like have never called me Brandon. Like it was always BJ. So I was BJ until I was like 18, 19, and then I was like, you know what? I'm getting a little bit older. I'm tired of the blowjob jokes.
Yeah, I would say.
So
Right.
we're gonna be Brandon now. And so
Right.
the issue that I run into these days, though, is that if I introduce myself to somebody, say, "Hey, I'm Brandon," but if it's someone who's known me before the transition, they always say BJ.
Right.
BJ. I'm just like, all right, all right.
Well, we stuck now.
I
Hell
think
no.
I think a lot of us go through that. I have a I guess you would call it a nickname or shortened name, but it's like only my family or
Yeah.
people who I knew from being like 5 to 13 years old will call me by that name. Other than that, nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just the way it's going to be because I'm not going to say it here.
Same. I ain't going there.
Well, that's how it works. But yeah, it's always funny though. Like when I meet someone, I say, "Hey, I'm Brandon," but then like we're around people that know me as BJ, and they'll say BJ, and the people I introduce myself to as Brandon start switching to BJ. I'm like, bro, but I told you my name was Brandon. All right,
Right.
Stay consistent.
You
don't-
know
You
what?
don't know me like that.
You know what? Also, that's like Joe. So I used to always just say that.
Yeah.
And then there was a point where I was like, I don't want to be called Joe. So I always introduce myself to people as Josiah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what's funny is my wife would still introduce me to people as Joe. And then I'll come right behind her and I'll shake hands with people and be like, "Hi, Josiah."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. It's like,
That's tough though, because yours kind of like naturally flows when you like shorten the name.
yeah. But it's like it's so many people that'll just go by that. It's like, how about I just use my regular name that kind of stands out? It's a little unique, I guess.
I said a while back, because my name is Matthew, and I usually just go by Matt. I'm gonna start going by Thew. Switch the game up. Like going by Thew.
Thew?
That's like
the game.
Phew.
That's like Topher. That's like Topher Grace. All right, on that back half.
Yes, sir.
Phew.
You.
I'm going by Thew.
Wow.
It's good, Thew.
That is original.
Phew.
Okay. very-
I've never
very
met
unique.
anybody that went by
Now
Phew.
on.
That is hilarious.
We doing.
That is hilarious. All right, y'all ready to pick back up? So, we were getting into before our talk with Adia. Lil Nas X is pregnant, and Boosie is upset.
Fuck that nigga, man.
Which one?
Boosie, man.
Okay.
Now we support Lil Nas on this side.
100%.
Well,
That little kid, man. Look, man.
Because
this
he's been
is
working on this
my
album for so long, bro. It's been a
Yes.
So that's the
process.
album
yeah.
It's on the album. He's giving birth to his album.
with this project that he's ready to give to the world.
okay.
Because it's his first real album.
he's
so
carried
it's
it to
it's
term.
his baby.
Breaking this down.
He
No,
did.
he did.
Okay,
He
then
did.
that's
He
cool.
said, "I'm
Then
ready
it
to
makes
give."
sense.
He's like, "I'm ready to give birth to Montero." That's the
Okay.
name of his album.
Yeah.
Then it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this nigga Boosie, man, has like notifications turned on because he hops on it
So
immediately.
somebody said Boosie know more about what gay people are doing than gay people.
Bro, listen. All right. Boosie is the most DL cat out there right now, bro.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Yes, absolutely. Because like the way that he responds immediately with like such disdain and like he tries to preach like these values and like, oh, you know, these young boys are out here trying to be straight, first of all. Which what does that mean? But also like, bro, like you're the worst person to ever preach about corrupting the youth. You literally had your son and your nephew at 13 years old get their dick sucked by prostitutes to quote unquote make them into men. Bro, that's child abuse. All right. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you have
Yeah.
no platform whatsoever to stand on about Lil Nas X just being an open gay man out here. You're talking about, oh yeah, he's gonna suck a background dancer's dick next. No, he's not.
Why are you thinking about that?
Right. You're out here imagining that probably like in your house, like writing fan fiction. It's gonna be like 50 Shades of Black coming up next. Like, oh yeah, Lil Nas X sucking that dick. Oh, so veiny. Like, bro, no. Whoa. I'm just saying. The way that he just like wakes up just ready to hate on this dude is ridiculous.
Okay, so with that, and I actually bang with Boosie's music pretty heavy, but what's the last Boosie song you heard? He's not really making good, like, popular music anymore.
Oh, yes, he is.
Today?
Yeah. Now, it's not to the level of, like, Wipe Me Down, but...
He's old. Like, shit after Wipe Me Down was dope, but...
Boosie is... He's still got a following, heavy following.
Absolutely.
With new music. He had an album with Mo 3, rest in peace.
That was... Okay.
That a lot of people was jamming with. Yeah,
that
man. Boosie is a consistent at his level artist.
Like you said, it's not at the level. I think this stuff is all marketing to keep him relevant. I hate to say it, but I think it's true. I think he's doing this stuff to stay relevant in media today. And who's better than the
I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things where in the beginning he made the Dwayne Wade shit. An actual comment that he really believed, and he saw the traction, and he was like, there it is.
Exactly. Bad publicity is good.
There it is. Oh, yeah. It's like when Skip said he doesn't care what people think about what he's saying. Yep. As flagrant as he can be, he sees he gets way more attention, way more traction, way more commentary. He's like, that's how he gets the millions.
I forgot
because
about
all they're going to look at is engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what I think it was. That Dwayne Wade shit. He said that.
Yeah.
People got on him.
Man.
And he was famous again.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Boosie said that God is rolling over in his grave. Like, is God dead?
I don't think God would support minors getting their dick sucked by grown ass women. Personally, Boosie, if you're listening, but you're not. But maybe one day.
Hey,
might be.
You
gotta shoot for the stars. Gotta shoot for the stars, man.
We'll
Boosie might
tag
be
you on
listening.
Instagram. Maybe it'll fall through at some point.
Oh, we will.
But yeah, no, like he's like the biggest fucking hypocrite of all time. Like I hate it. I hate it. Anytime he opens his mouth, he just says stupid shit for no reason. Like,
speaking of that, it's a good transition into 50.
Yeah. You're getting good at this.
Hey,
now that he has a mic that's actually working.
Right. So, first and foremost, rest in peace to Michael K. Williams. Actor, philanthropist, dancer, choreographer. Guy was a amazing talent. Recently passed away from what looks to be drug overdose, namely fentanyl. Can we please get rid of fentanyl? Why is this legal? It killed Prince. There was a party out in L.A. There were comedians. There's this guy, Fuquan Johnson, I think was his name. Him and like 3 other people all died from fentanyl. And there's another in like critical condition. Mac Miller died because of fentanyl. A lot of people die every year because of fentanyl. It's running crazy in like on the reservations.
Really?
Oh,
yes. I saw a Vice documentary where they were talking about it, and it was just like, it's wild. But it's legal. Meanwhile, marijuana is a Schedule 1 narcotic. It's rated the same way as cocaine, heroin. Why? I don't understand. I mean, partly I do.
Why?
Healthcare industry.
Yeah, apparently they give it to pregnant women, don't they? Fentanyl?
Oh, I don't know about
My wife
that.
said she had it when she was pregnant.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah.
For what purpose?
She had a C-section. I'm just going to assume it was for pain. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a pain medication.
Yeah.
It is a pain medication. Speaking of Prince, like he was having it because he had hip surgery. Yeah. And so that's when he got on the fentanyl. But
That's crazy.
It's like it's being used because a little bit goes a long way for the high.
Yeah,
like a little bit is deadly.
I literally just saw like this picture on Twitter
With the penny?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the penny showing
Yeah.
the lethal dose of fentanyl, and it was like just 2 little sprinkles
Man.
next to this penny. I was
Man.
like, bro,
Yeah,
that really puts it into perspective.
yeah, and people are doing it, knowingly and unknowingly. And the worst part is when people are taking it unknowingly.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
That's murder.
It's
lacing
like,
their
yeah, I want to get
shit.
some pills. I want to
Yeah.
get this. I want to get some coke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would always say, don't mess with that.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna do it, I mean,
get
dog,
those testing strips. And
get
whatnot.
get it tested. Do something. But yeah, people are stepping on the drugs with the fentanyl, and they're stretching it, and people are losing their lives. And then you got assholes like 50 who like, man, see, part of me looks at 50 and is like, this guy's he's a dickhead. Everybody knows 50's a dickhead.
he is.
But there's a part of me that's like,
Not as big as
get
Boosie though.
what, not as much as Boosie. But a part of me gets why 50 is that way. And it's like, it goes into another discussion that we can get to at another time about people who have been shot and have essentially almost lost their lives. So just to give some backstory, 50 had beef with Game. You remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Game was managed by a guy named James Rosemond. Went by Jimmy Henchman.
Yeah.
Jimmy Henchman was a big time drug dealer, gangster. He's doing life right now. And so Jimmy was beefing with 50. And there was a time where it got so heated to where Jimmy's son was walking home from school, and allegedly, but not allegedly, some of 50's people caught his son. They slapped him up. One of his guys, Maserati Fox. Jimmy got him killed. That's one of the cases he's in prison for now.
Shit.
So their beef is deep. It's not just rap shit.
Yeah.
Michael K. Williams is a Brooklyn cat. Jimmy Henchman is a Brooklyn cat. They knew each other. And so there was an interview where he said, man, all this shit that Jimmy's being accused of, man, that ain't true. He was just holding his man down. 50 looked at that like, man, fuck that nigga. Straight like that, because he killed my man. So it's beef. That's why when you hear people say, oh, they beefing, these rappers are beefing, it's like, it ain't really that. Because if people are beefing, it's on sight.
Cause niggas dying.
It's real. This was one of them situations where you standing next to him,
Yeah.
I don't jam with you. Whatever happens to you is on for life and for death.
Yep.
That's street shit. 50 still a street nigga.
Did not realize it went that deep.
Yeah. And so when you take that into account,
Yeah.
it's something that, yeah, maybe he's wrong for what he said, but you kind of can get some understanding as to why he would say that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just to be an asshole. If Ja Rule died today, I guarantee you he's not shedding no tears.
Hell no.
Why? Because even though Ja ain't really well, they had their run-ins, but even though he didn't get him shot, he's linked to who got him shot. There's no sympathy for you.
Fact. See, all I saw was the promotion saying, "Oh, he died from fentanyl." Same thing happened in Power Book.
Right.
That's all I saw. So,
But
I didn't know there was a backstory to that.
The original post that he did,
Yeah.
he said, yo, Jimmy, your man OD'd.
Oh.
Then he got rid of
missed
that. But yeah, so that's why he made those comments about him. It's not so much about him per se. It's who he's linked to and who he's down with. And it's like, if you down with it, it's like when people say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, the friend of my enemy is my enemy. Right?
Real shit.
So
Real shit.
that's what that comes down to. So,
Speaking of people being shot, real quick though,
yeah.
I saw some video today on like Snapchat. This woman got shot 17 times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
survived.
And that was Was that her boyfriend was cheating?
Her boyfriend was cheating, yeah. Her
And the girl he was cheating with,
side chick.
and the side shot her?
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yep.
That's a dedicated side.
Not to be morbid. but
No,
what
no,
is this video?
no. She's just telling the story.
Yeah, it's like just
okay.
being
Yeah,
interviewed. Or maybe it was on Twitter actually. It was on Twitter.
Did she die?
Many.
yeah. 7 man.
Yeah, like
many
she
women.
got like she had a boyfriend had a side chick, and she's like, whatever, you can have him then.
Damn.
And then I guess at some point she was at her crib. The side chick went through the boyfriend's phone, saw that she had been with them the day before, called her like, what the fuck you doing? She said, hey, you know where I'm at. And hung up or whatever. Damn. And then I guess the boyfriend like drove like a very loud van, like a loud engine.
Okay.
And so she heard it pulling up outside, like, oh, my man's pulling up, or my ex-man, whatever. So she goes outside, and she says it's like a black figure, like a figure like dressed in all black, comes out the van. She realizes it's the side chick, and she just starts popping rounds. Bro.
Damn.
It's like pop, pop, pop. She's on the ground. She's still getting popped. And like her neighbor is on the balcony, like, hey, leave her alone. I already called the cops. Get the fuck out of here. And she's still just like firing off shots.
Oh, shit.
And as she's narrating the story, she says, hey, like, I got to, like, play dead because I'm realizing, like, she wants me to be dead.
Yeah.
And so she eventually, I guess, just, like, lays there. And then old girl, like, runs off because the cops show up. And then, they rush her to the hospital. It was, like, during COVID times, too. So, like, nobody could come see her and all that kind of shit. But
Jeez.
she pulled through. She has to, like, walk with a walker now. But
Bet. She's lucky she can even walk.
yeah, 17 shots, bro.
Dog.
I'm assuming old girl got arrested, right?
Yeah, because she knew her name, so she told the authorities or whatever, like, this is who she is. So like she's like in jail now, awaiting trial still. But I was like, wow, this is nuts.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Poor old girl. Yeah.
Damn, man. That's insane. 17 times.
That's tough.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's wild. Speaking of women's issues, this is a very heavy on the women's issues episode, so forgive us. But good old Greg Abbott, state of Texas. We have new abortion laws in place. I wish I had a booing soundtrack right now.
I'll give you one. Boo. Boo. Greg Abbott and
Wheels.
and Ted Cruz are two people that I hate.
He's a
more than
cuck.
pussy. All right.
Ted Cruz is a cuck. How you let somebody disrespect you and your wife, and then you turn around and support him at all turns?
And then fly off to Cancun during the fucking blizzard where your state's shine.
He's a sucker.
He sucks. Yeah, so like I'm a natural born Texan, been here for all 30 years of my life, right? And definitely a very liberal Texan. So this anti-abortion law that's now in place, I don't personally for me, like, I wouldn't want my partner wife to get that procedure, but what I want doesn't really matter, right? For everyone else out there. And that's what the issue is. Like, you're making these decisions, this blanket statement for, like 6 weeks, like a 6-week pregnancy. That's just your period being 2 weeks late.
I say it's hard to even know you are pregnant.
Exactly. Like, that's so early in the process that most women have no idea they're even pregnant. So by the time you go to the doctor, it's usually around like 8 to 10 weeks. It's like, okay, cool, I got a baby in me, but my window passed 2 to 4 weeks ago. Like, okay. And there's like so many different situations that these old white men are not considering or not caring about or whatever, that just is so infuriating, bro. Like, because they'll be the first ones, like, if their daughters get pregnant and they want an abortion, they're gonna be the first ones on a goddamn plane to fucking California or wherever they gotta go to get that shit done. Like, that shit's happening immediately, but they're gonna deny millions upon millions of women. Like, Texas is the second most populous state in our country. You're saying that 15 million women cannot have the access to the service that they may need. Like, that
what's
is ridiculous.
What's the sickest part of it all? One, yeah, the 6 weeks thing. 'Cause that's like, by the time you find out, you're outside of the window. But to say that the only way you can grant an abortion in this state now is if the life of the mother is at risk, which means most likely it's probably going to be mid to late pregnancy when something like that will kick in.
Yep.
That means there's no exception for rape.
Yep.
There's no exception for incest.
Nope.
Not gotta have it. What? That's evil. That's pure evil. But let the guys and the gals on the Republican side, and then the Supreme Court upheld it. So it went to its top level, and they still upheld it.
Because the Supreme Court's also on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking packed and shit. Like, politics in America, well, I guess really more than America, but especially here, like, are so fucked up.
Wild trash.
Yeah.
Especially like in Texas, like the top. Okay, so Texas has what, 4 of the top 10 most populous cities in America, and all those cities are very deeply blue. Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and yet somehow, all of the leadership is red. These little tiny ass farms,
Yep.
Interspersed between these huge ass metropolitan areas, like. Somehow those people are dictating the politics in the state, where the majority, like the very hubs of civilization, are like, hey, we don't really rock with that. That shit is fucking infuriating.
Yeah. I think this last election, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas and Houston were the standouts for flipping blue.
Yeah.
So I think over the next few years,
They didn't flip blue. They were already blue.
Okay.
They've been blue
Okay.
for a long time.
I think especially with people moving in, like out of towners moving in, the Californias, the
Yeah.
New Yorks, and all that coming in, and people moving out from like just the city and coming out to this way, going out West Texas and all that, because West Texas is like open land of just nothingness.
Yeah.
It's Odessa. Who the hell is in Odessa? But that's where you're going to start to see a change, where more and more people who are here and in those other areas are going to start to really flip it to being more blue or purple at the very least.
It's close. It's like it's approaching purple.
Because you see what
status
happened
right
in
now.
Georgia.
Yeah.
You see what happened with Georgia. So it can happen, but
Yeah.
man.
Unfortunately, we live in Collin County. Collin County is still red.
Very.
It's
Yeah,
It is.
very.
It is. But we have all these new neighborhoods popping up that are bringing in younger families
Yeah.
from urban areas, liberal areas. So Collin County is going to turn at least purple here pretty soon. Hopefully blue one day. But in the meantime, it's still like, we got to get people out to vote, bro.
Very, very black.
Very, very.
Shout out to this community.
Yeah. But it's just like, man, like, fucking Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz, I cannot stand them, bro.
Punk ass. Yeah, man. There's a meme that goes around that says that men should not be making laws about women's bodies. Yeah, I think there's certain laws.
That sums it up.
There are certain laws that exist where it should be like, we need a panel of women to make this law. And I can't think of what's a law that just affects men. But if there was to be one, then there should be like just a panel of trusted men to be like, we're the leadership here for this. We're going to vote on this.
Yeah.
That way we're not stepping on you. You're not stepping on us. And then for 99.9% of everything else, got a mixture of men and women who are sane and thinking straight and can, make decisions. But
I'm shocked that decision went through, simply because, first thing I went to was it's going to hit the poverty areas first.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to, and then that's going to probably create more poverty, which is not good
Yep.
for the state. They didn't think that. But, yeah.
I'm sure they thought about it. They just don't give a fuck.
Word.
Because it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
They don't give two shits. Let the poor people stay poor. Fine. Let the black people stay destitute. Fine, like whatever. We don't care.
That might be it.
You know, yeah. If you have a 13-year-old black girl get pregnant, what does that? How's that affect Greg Abbott? He doesn't give a fuck about that.
Right.
If it's his daughter, okay. Hold on now, we gotta intervene. But
Right.
anybody else, like that's on them. Should have made better choices.
Yes. See, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that other bullshit.
I voted against him every election I've been able to. For the record,
How many more times can he run for governor?
I don't think there's a cap.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's a term limit for governor or rep or senator, just for president, I think. Beto is allegedly trying to run for governor. I voted for him when he ran for the Senate. But, I mean, Beto, as much as I kind of like him, he doesn't really say very much. Like, he doesn't really have, like, a strong platform. And so that's why he loses all of his elections.
Got a fire hashtag and nothing else.
He's pretty fucking weak.
Yeah.
So if he's like our strongest challenger to Abbott, then we probably gonna be stuck with Abbott for a minute.
Yeah. Well, such is life. It sucks, man.
Yeah.
Sucks at times. But before we get out of here, how much more time do you guys have?
15?
About 15?
Yeah,
Cool,
15's
man. Let's
fine.
get some elevated.
Let's end on a fucking happy note, bro.
Yeah, let's get some elevated. All right, so
I'm depressed now.
man, episode 6, keep elevated. Jam with us. The Mr. David on Instagram only at this point. Banned on Twitter.
Oh, shit.
Has his burner account
They
active.
officially responded to my appeal and said your account will not be restored.
Oh, where they said that? Oh, damn.
Yeah. I got banned because I quoted a video, and well,
Man.
these are the rules, man. These are the rules, man. Go to
And yet
well-
Donald Trump didn't get banned for 4 fucking years.
see,
All the shit he was saying.
see.
Yeah, we got a cat out here in small town Texas.
Just trying to get these jokes off.
It's crazy, man.
That's
Well,
Jen Soul on the beat
till the next
cooking up
time.
that heat.
Peace.